Okay, hi everybody. I'm back. This is part three of some mini readings that help everybody move toward the um, amazing new moon for the new lunar year of 2025. Here we go. So, Zinnia, welcome. And take a look at this beautiful glyph of the Metatron Merkaba. All right, and bringing in snake energy. So here we have your astrological wheel with your galactic conjunctions. These are the strongest conjunctions, are the strongest soul connections when we look at records. Okay, so what do we see first? Sagittarius rising. Wow, look at that. With the great attractor at 13 degrees, 37 minutes. So it's working with your ascendant and your natal Neptune. If you think about that, the great attractor, again, is the supracosmic point of we have a black hole within a black hole within a black hole. And the great attractor at the ascendant, for me, what this is calling up is someone who can do galactic and astral travel, has perhaps as a child had this affinity toward contact in some way. So if you're looking for proof, here it is. And then working with that Neptunian, the higher octave of Venus is Neptune. So this idea of the cosmic love, sitting in the 12th house where it's truly at home. And also in that 12th house, you have Alpha Centauri, the Alpha star for Centauri or the centaurs. But this is not your normal centaur. This is the centaur who is bringing an offering to the altar. So it's a marker that's showing up with your natal Venus at 28 degrees Scorpio. The Alpha Centauri is a marker for the priest or priestess. So it's very devout, bringing offerings to the divine. So your life as an offering to the divine. So when we look closer, certainly the great attractor and Sagittarius, and we find out where is Jupiter. Well, you have Jupiter natally here in the sixth house, and it is conjunct all of these amazing stars, Pleione, Alcyone, Maya, Taygeta, and Electra from the Pleiades. So very strong Pleiadian sisterhood working with your Jupiter in the sixth house of your body, daily work, and devoted service. This idea of devoted service and the sacrifice that the priest or priestess is bringing to the altar, it's kind of coming up as a nice story in your natal chart. We see such a strong cluster between, the transpersonal houses 9, 10, 11, and 12, right? And then we have this seesaw aspect coming down here with the Chiron working with Mirak in Andromeda, and your Black Moon Lilith with Almach. And in between, we see the South Node. So for me, when I look at this, one marker for where were you before, we see the sisterhood of not only the Pleiades, but the Andromedan stars. So violet shades, purple, lavender, higher vibrational, showing up in your house of self-expression, romance, creativity, and children, but also the Pleiades in the sixth house of service, 29th degree of Taurus. So at the anaretic degree. So how you expand and work with the Pleiades. Um, yeah, you have quite a few stars to add to your 12-point star Merkaba. But the one that's really calling for my attention is here at the ninth house moon in Virgo. Here we see your natal moon is 7 degrees, Virgo 26 minutes, and it's conjunct Tuban in the constellation of Draco, the dragon, at 7 degrees, 7 minutes, where Tuban is sitting with your moon. So what that does is with the dragon energy, I mentioned earlier, I think it was part one in the mini readings, that the dragon is the creator being's that were asked to be the guardians of the treasure. The treasure was basically the poles, the North and South poles, and Mother Earth. So, with Tubin previously, many thousands of years ago, being our North Star, the dragon energy is working with your natal moon in Virgo. So, boy, you've got Pleiades, Andromedans, the great attractor, and now this ancient dragon energy working with your moon. And then the super galactic center, if you look over here, working at very much at your conjunct your midheaven. You have Algorab, Arcturus, Izar, Shapley, and Sirma. So I wanted to call out Sirma because I have passed this star in the past. And Sirma is a star in the constellation of Virgo. Virgo as the goddess, Virgo as sometimes looked at as Demeter or Demeter, Mother Earth. She has the energy of yes, the goddess, and this is who's helping you actually, Sirma in Virgo, working with your North Node in the 11th house with a Uranus right next to it. So if you wanted to work with groups that like to go deep, these are your like dream deeply and find the tribe that goes deeply, deep, deep, deep waters. Invite in Sirma and sit with the Shapley attractor. This is powerful cosmic energy that's available to you. Yeah, so Zinnia, and hope this is helpful as you move forward in 2025. LaVerne, hi, I'm sorry your E got cut off, but it's actually down there on the diagram. Here we have you, LaVerne, as well, with the great attractor sitting at the ascendant, just like Zinnia. Isn't that fascinating? You know, so it's this huge, you know, sometimes it's no accident when we see a theme of several having the great attractor at the ascendant when there's contact involved. And contact can be subtle or it can be very specific. And sometimes it can be traumatizing and maybe even hidden. But what we have is across from the great attractor, we have the beautiful star Rigel and working with your natal moon in Gemini. So 1 degree conjunction, Rigel calling you out as the scholar, the thinker, the educator at high levels of thought. Very interesting. So, who will join you in the year 2025, LaVerne? Vega, Enlyra, Aladfar, Altair, Markab, Almach, Rigel, Sirius A, Spica, Arcturus, Izar, and the Shapley attractor. So the ruler in your chart, of course, is Jupiter, Almach. Such a beautiful star, Almach, just within like 2 degrees orb of your natal Jupiter, the marker for expansion in the house 5 of self-expression, performance, arts, yeah, self-esteem. So let's see, Almach. I think I wrote myself a little note here. There's so many stars in the heavens. Just want to make sure I'm right. So Mirak, Almach, and sometimes I get just a little confused, but yeah, working with Andromeda and how to expand with Andromeda. This is such a beautiful star, and it calls in the divine feminine of I don't want anyone to tie me down. You know, liberation is like oxygen, freedom at all cost. This could be the battle cry when you look at what you have self-expressed or created throughout your life. So this is how we read a little bit of the stars. I hope that's helpful as you move forward in 2025. Anita, here we go. Calling in your Merkaba, your solar light vehicle, who will help you. Right at the beginning, your ascendant or rising sign is in Cancer, so that's ruled by the moon. And we see your beautiful moon within a conjunction to your sun. So you're a double Taurus, Cancer rising. Okay. So what does this say? Who is here to help? Well, you have the North Star called Polaris. It's the pole star in the Little Bear, Ursa Minor, working right next to Betelgeuse or Betelgeuse in Orion. So Betelgeuse, I remember that funny movie, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, but it's actually a beautiful shoulder of Orion the Hunter, and it's typically a marker for success. And it's sitting with your part of fortune in the 12th house. So, what would success look like with Gemini? Did you have an invisible friend as a child? Were you talking with the angels or the birds or the animals? This is a blessing. You have the ability to work with this idea of telepathy, Gemini, the air sign. Um, yeah. And as far as how we see you, you are the nurturer, the mother archetype, the one that likes to hold the stories of the family. We see that at the ascendant. But as we travel through your chart, we see the King star Regulus working with your natal Pluto in Leo. So Regulus is in Leo. Pluto is right there at the 29th degree, sitting in the fourth house of your foundation. There is this idea that leadership from the heart, and it doesn't necessarily mean, I know it's the king star, but it can be sovereignty within your own self, sovereignty within your own biological family, or in a friendship group. Arcturus, the Pathfinder with Spica, the goddess who brings a gift to you at birth, Anita, working with your natal Jupiter in Libra. So let's go see again as we go. Here's the galactic center working with your Saturn in Sagittarius. We're coming around here. Achernar, the 10th house. Yes, you are the one that we will call in Pisces. Mars in Pisces working with Achernar. Yeah, you're the one, like the emergency first responder is what it feels like to me on a spiritual level. Like, do people come to you and tell you their stories? Um, do they know that you're a safe place to land? It feels like you know where you're going, Polaris. And then the other stars to help you in this lifetime, Alpha Reticulum, Alpherots, Mirac, Capulus, and Algol. Let me say a little bit more about Capulus. This is the hand that holds the sword of Perseus. So, with joining that with your natal moon in Taurus, this idea of, and in the 12th house, a very large 12th house, what is it that you might have male passionate energy? Or what do you feel activated to go and do in your dream time? Are you saving others? Are you the firefighter? Are you the medic? But it seems like with Capulus, that particular star of the hand of the sword, you're able to slay that which is no longer needed, that which is threatening. You are the protector energy, is what it feels like. The moon in Taurus. Yeah, protection of resources spiritually. Okay, well, Anita, I hope that's helpful for you. Moving along, Marion. Hi, Marion. Yes, let's tune into your beautiful Metatronic star, Merkaba. Here we go, bringing in your snake energy. Right away at your ascendant, Gemini, who is ruled, the beautiful Gemini is ruled by Mercury. So let's go find your Mercury. Here it is in Leo, in the fourth house. Communications of nurturance, of family. Yes, yes, not afraid to say, or hopefully not afraid to say what it is you feel as a foundation to who you are. Let's see. Hyadum, 2, Ain, and Aldebaran. Let me just say, of those three beautiful stars, it is this Archangel Michael, the protector, that is coming out very strong. This is the bull, Taurus constellation. working at your ascendant in Gemini. So the bull, Aldebaran. So for this royal star, and please feel free to look at my YouTube channel, The Ascension Playground, to learn a little bit more about the 4 royal stars, the watchers of the north, south, east, and west. Well, we have Archangel Michael working with the issues of protection and integrity. We would see you as somebody that holds great integrity. Like, if there's someone that's going to be in alignment with who they are, it's going to be you, Marion. So when you look at the course of your life and you grow into that, it's like Michael is there to protect as you navigate in this auspicious year of 2025. You have the North Star and Betelgeuse working with your beautiful Venus, the Super Galactic Center, Izar, Shapley Attractor, helping you in your 6th house. So, Marion, I believe you already know some of the language of astrology. I would just let you know that the word, if you decide to get a reading with one of the practitioners, the word interception could come up to help explain this advanced pathway that your soul agreed to in this lifetime. We're seeing markers of being an old soul. Much of your work is below the horizon, all right? And then above here, we have your moon. Your north node is calling you out into your networks and friendship groups, into telling us more and feeling into the future. In checking my little notes about this particular star, there's just this feeling of, depth in Scorpio, working with your natal Neptune. Yeah, so it could be a little bit of very sensitive, working with a broader aspect of the Centaurian nature. So, Marion, just so you know, there's an Alpha Centauri and a Beta Centauri. And so both are located in the constellation of the Centaur. And so, again, this is the Centaur who is bringing a sacrifice to the altar. So it is a marker for attunement to the spiritual and to priest and priestess. So this particular placement in such a huge 6th house of devoted service, I am looking, here we go, Hadar, masters of spiritual evolution, compassionate and yet homesick, wisdom keepers, protectors of peace. Could be a little introverted, however. I'm not sure if that showed up for you in this lifetime or the fear of going too deep, but you have some fabulous markers in your chart. Again, Archangel Michael at the top. And as we go around, the idea of priestliness in the 6th house of devoted service. Markab, reminding you in the 11th house with Pegasus, working with your North Node. So the North Node, it's getting comfortable in this lifetime to actually travel and sit on the saddle of Jupiter's winged horse, to travel through to other dimensions. This is the horse that can go down below and above, crossing over many realms. So it's working with your moon in Pisces. So there's a richness there. So whatever you have decided, just know in this year, if you need steadiness, I would call in Markab in the constellation of Pegasus. You have Alpha Reticulum, Shadir, Titawin, working with your Saturn. All right, Marion, I'm hoping that was helpful. But the Beta Centauri Hadar really took my breath away. There's something here. Beautiful. Beautiful sense that if you're fooling yourself that you're not all that as far as committed to the service of the one, you're back to hold space and work with the Archangel Michael energy. Beautiful. All right, Lynda, or P. Lynda, Petra Lynda. Oh, look, you have the beautiful star Vega. Now, I don't think we've talked about this star yet. This is the first time we're seeing it at an ascendant, I believe, in Capricorn. So Vega is in the beautiful constellation of Lyra. It's a star that I could talk about for a long time, but the Vegans working in Lyra, Lyra kind of was, if you study the galactic history and get the Prism of Lyra book by Lisa Royal Holt, you'll learn that there was a Lyran aspect that was very masculine that wanted to go out and colonize. But the Vegans said, no, let's sit and go within. All the answers are within. And so, this idea of the one that goes within, I think it's tied to the Tibetans, this idea of prayer and mantra and all answers, whatever's outside is inside me, working with your Capricorn ascendant. 12 degrees. Do you see that 12? So when you go around the circle to find out who wants to work with you in the 2025 year, Vega is right there saying hello. And I'm going to go right across the chart and talk about Sirius A. Again, Bernadette Brady calls this star sister to our star, the fire of immortality, working with your natal Saturn in Cancer. Okay, so in the seventh house of partnerships, of marriage, of, union, how you balance. So you've got the beautiful star Shiat, Alpheratz, Algol, Leon, Alcyone, Rigel, Nihal, Bellatrix. We said Sirius A, the super galactic center in the ninth house. At the top of your chart, you do have, my goodness, the Shapley attractor, which is this massive black hole from which you can, like, from the top of you in this incarnation, you can, when you meditate within, go out. And Izar, Izar, remember that's the most beautiful rainbow, it's a beautiful star. I would think it's not very large, but it's one of the most beautiful stars in the heaven because of that rainbow glow. So bringing those two energies and working with your midheaven and Aquarius in in Libra. Wow, what a chart. And then you have Alpha Centauri, Antares, and the Great Attractor. Okay, Lynda, I'm hoping that helps you get started with your year 2025. Mary. Okay, Mary M. Here we go. Take a look at your Metatron Merkaba as your quantum solar light vehicle. Here we go. What do you have? Oh, we have so many Capricorn ascendants. Okay, so here we go. Capricorn, ruled by Saturn. And where's your Saturn? In the 11th house, working with the galactic center. My goodness. So your ruler of the chart has really put an emphasis here on how you are out in the world, working within your networks, and being able to receive. It feels like you're going to be able to receive messages and information when you sit in group with like-hearted family members, okay? And creating a structure to receive that. Let's see, at the rising sign of Capricorn, you've got Sheliak and the Ring Nebula. Beautiful. So this is basically telling me that there is a Lyran energy. There is a Lyran energy working with your Capricorn rising. So we see you, dear one, as Capricornian, very solid, very much focused on getting up that mountain and being successful out in the world. And Lyra, this is the cradle galactically within our universe where our story begins. It begins in Lyra, and then it moves out from there. So working with the creation story of our universe with Sheliak and the Ring Nebula. Now, remember, the Ring Nebula is so beautiful, but it is a dying star, shedding off all this gas. There is something about this idea of alpha and omega whenever I see that combination. So maybe you are here to close a chapter and help us move into the new chapter as we go forward with humanity. And here you've got Achernar working with your natal Mars, Alpha Reticulum, Alpherots. Let's see, here's your beautiful moon in Aries and the third house. Oh, look at how closely Algol is conjunct your natal sun in the fourth house of Taurus. Yeah, 25 degrees, Taurus, 34 minutes is where Algol sits. And it's just basically 1 degree, within orb of your conjunction. So this is like the fourth house is your foundations. When I see Taurus at the nadir, it's a marker for how do you resource yourself? Where do you stand on? And this idea of Algol. So the story, as you probably know, is the priestesses with Athena. So the story, I'll just share a bit more, was this idea that this beautiful, well, before Medusa was Medusa, she was actually a a priestess sworn to virginity in the temples of Athena. And unfortunately, I believe it was Neptune that came in and raped her. So this idea of persecution by the male, but subsequently Athena, whom she was a priestess for, punished her. So again, punishment by other women in your circle, and turned her from being so beautiful into the most despised, and you couldn't even look at her, kind of female with snakes on her head. So this idea that you've got Algol, and from later when her head was cut by Perseus, from the blood sprung the beautiful horse of Jupiter. So we see the transformation from beauty and devoted servant, and then raped by a man, and then demonized by the women in life, and then slain. And from her blood, then we love Pegasus, but we can't remember, oh yeah, how did Pegasus get here? From Medusa's blood. So when I see Algol conjunct your sun natally, there could be some ancestral issues around male, female, punishment, and who was the scapegoat. So these are some of the archetypal stories of the stars that oftentimes find its resonant frequency in our lives. Whether it's a little bit or a lot, it depends on how the story unravels and your predisposition. So Mary M., you've got Alphard and the King Star Regulus to help support you this year. Spica, Arcturus, Shapley, Sirma, the Galactic Center. You have quite a bit of potent energies just going around your natal chart. I hope that adds light to your year in 2025, and you can discard anything that doesn't make sense or did not ring true for you. Marla, hello. Welcome. And if you could, just take a peek at this Metatron Merkaba, and from your heart, sort through who wants to go, what are the 12 that will join you in 2025 during this year of the wood snake. Right away, we see your rising sign as Gemini with Rigel, this beautiful star, Rigel. Rigel at conjoined your ascendant in Gemini, 16 degrees, 29 minutes. So Marla, this is an Orion star. And again, it's a marker for someone who's very scholarly and an educator. So I'm not sure if you chose that type of a career path or if it's something that you are doing scholarly work within yourself. I see most of you have this cluster of activity and energies below the horizon. All right. So very interesting. So we see Izar, Shapley, Acrux. We see that Beta Centauri Hadar is conjoined your natal sun in Scorpio in the 6th house of devoted service. So it is starting to feel like the scribe or I almost feel like a Chiron-esque, the smart, wise teacher here to offer truths and messages to help educate others around them. You do have Aldebaran in Taurus, working with your 12th house. And let's see. Yeah, that is conjunct your south node. So, Archangel Michael, you came in with this energy in the 12th house. And this in this lifetime, working with your north node, yeah, you've got Antares. Yeah, conjunct at 9 degrees, 24 minutes in Sagittarius, conjunct your north node. Wow, very close to the descendant. So what does that mean, Antares? Well, looking at my notes, I know that Aldebaran and Antares, you'll typically, if you have one, you'll see the other. These are two royal stars. So Aldebaran, where it holds Archangel Michael, Antares is working in the constellation of the Scorpion, Scorpius. All right, so this has to do with seeing into the future. So you're here to help us kind of move into the future from a Sagittarian kind of flavor. So, what have you found to be true? And who is there to help you? Well, you've got Neptune natally right next to your North Node. So, this idea of cosmic wisdom, you know, and devoted to this idea of maybe I can add a little something to help others. But a power packed sixth house. We also have Fomalhaut and Deneb Adige. Wow, you have three royal stars conjunct specific natal points. So Fomalhaut, this is the royal star that carries the Christ energy, is sitting in your 10th house right next to your Black Moon Lilith. Fomalhaut, not only is it carrying the Archangel Gabriel energy, but it's also working with this idea of what divine messages are you sharing out in the world? The messages will be conjoining the energy of Deneb Adige. So if you've ever felt connected to Isis or the great swan Cygnus, this star is one that's talking about a shaman's journey, that almost backwards evolutionary spin into your own self. So this is the gift that you possibly have to bring out into the world, working with now the star energy. And you can see we just talked a little bit about Capulus. Capulus, the hand of the sword for Perseus, working with your part of fortune in the 12th house of Taurus. Good job. Okay, Marla. Hope that gets you started for 2025. Here comes the light. Mausami. Okay, I'm not sure if you're going to be joining us because a lot of your emails are getting kicked back to me, Mausami. But if you find a way to get this video, I'm just going to briefly say you've got your double Cancer with your sun and your rising sign in Cancer, and who's working with your natal sun is Procyon, the little dog star. So short bursts of success. What are the little messages or commercials? What's coming? Tell us what's coming, Mausami. Your moon is working very strongly with Tubin, the dragon energy in the second house. And then that lunar energy natally is also working in Virgo with Jupiter natally. So expansion of this emotional intelligence, but it's based on this idea of the creator beings before time, guardian of the treasure and guardian of the poles. So we've got the supergalactic, Beta Centauri, Ras Al Hagwe, Alpharots, Ain, Aldebaran, Rigel, and Nihal. There we go. Hope that adds light to your year, Mausami. Okay, Lisa H. I feel like I'm losing a little bit of my voice, but I'm so excited to look at your charts, everyone. So Lisa H., I invite you to take a look at the Merkaba from Metatron, and let's see if we can help get you started for a successful 2025 Lunar New Year. Right away, we see that your rising sign, look at that, last degrees of Virgo, 29 degrees Virgo. So your Virgo rising barely with the supergalactic center. So how we, at the ascendant, so how we see you is someone who, yes, has received all of the virtues and attributes of Virgo, the analyzer, the one that we give a lot of information to, and you can figure out the equation. But the super galactic center, it's like this ability to receive messages from beyond. Yeah. Yeah, it's right at your ascendant. So we hold that, in balance, Libra, and you've got your part of fortune in the first house. And look, there's your north node, 14 degrees Libra. So perhaps, just perhaps, this is the year for you to see that to help you become and understand who you truly are. First house identity, like who are you, Lisa H? It may have a lot to do with this super galactic center, the one who's able to bring through messages or bring through wisdom or technologies. It's where you'll be blessed. Here's your part of fortune. Okay. So the blessing might be in really understanding who you truly are and looking at multidimensionality. So you've got Alpha Centauri working with your Jupiter, the beautiful star from Pegasus, Shiat, who is holding the closest to 0 point, Aries 0 point. So we're actually in the age of Pegasus before it moves into Aquarius. So you're holding this powerful age of Shiat working with your vertex. So the vertex is a point when something hits that, and for you, it's 0 degrees, Aries, 24 minutes. And we combine that with the star from Pegasus, holding the star of the age. Whenever you have a transit to this descendant part of you, pay attention because things will happen. It's neither good or bad, but things are going to happen. So I would look at your transit and go, okay, when has that hit that particular 0 degrees, 24 minutes of Aries in my life? Was there a birth of a child, a marriage, a divorce, a new job, something auspicious? So it's interesting that it's at the descendant. And I would say it's still in Pisces. Shiat is in Pisces, but your vertex has moved into Aries. So it's 7th house. It's marriage, partnership, one-on-one. You've got Alpharots with Andromeda. Oh, yeah, the South Node. So you came in with the Andromedan energy already with you, and it's working to help your North Node of knowing who you are. I would really look at finding out more in Google. Who are the Andromedans? Tell me more about their story and allow for contact working with your super galactic center at the ascendant. Like sit down and meditate and invite them in. Part of this magic is knowing the name. So now you know Alpharots. And the star Alpharots is also connected to Pegasus. So it's a star shared between the Andromedans and Pegasus. Interesting. You have Algol, and then all this cluster of stars from the Pleiades working with your natal Mars. At the top of your chart, at the midheaven, you've got Betelgeuse, a marker for success, with Gemini and Polaris. So being successful as a writer, being successful as a communicator. Yeah, good. Okay, Lisa, I hope that helps get you started in 2025. All right, now the last few slides, bear with me, we're getting towards the end. Shannon, because you only had a few stars that were conjunct, I wanted to show everybody this is what it looks like in the calculator as a practitioner that I can call up and see what are all your star alignments. But the wheel here, let's start with your natal wheel on this side to find out which beginning of the 12 stars you'll want to add into your Merkaba, your solar light vehicle for 2025. We see your ascendant in Leo. Leo is ruled by the sun. We see your sun at 11 degrees, 8 minutes of Aries in the 9th house. Truth seeker, beyond even this realm is what it feels like. There's a wound, Chiron there. So Yeah. Are you going to believe what people have told you in the past, or are you going to find your own truth? And you've got Mercury communicating and very much conjoined your sun's energy. So, this whole ninth house, this cluster of Mercury, your sun, your Chiron at your midheaven is working with Alpherots, Andromeda, and the Pegasus star. Beautiful. And Algol. So you've got Altair, Alpherots, Algol, the three A's, and then 4, 5, 6. You have 6 stars. I didn't want to leave you hanging, so I'm going to let you go ahead and look around the wheel to see if there's any other stars who their name sounds interesting, or you might want to find out a little bit more. But this is showing of all the stars in Julia's calculator to date, of which there's 64. And we know the heavens have way more than 64 stars, but it's a beginning place. So, Shannon, here's all of the other stars that have some type of soul connection to you, whether it's conjunction, opposition, trine, sextile, and square. Okay, hope that helps. Cat, same thing. Look at your beautiful natal chart on this side as we try and identify the 12 stars that will light your 2025 year up for support crew. So right away, we see you're a Taurus rising, and well, you've got your North Node in the 12th house. Yeah, right there, close to the ascendant. So Taurus is ruled by Venus. And so when we look at the ruler of your chart and we look for Venus, let's see, here she is in Virgo, Venus in Virgo in the 4th house. All right. So since there weren't 12, you only had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 conjunctions. Markab, Orion's Nebula, Alnilam, and Alnitak. Um, those are 2 belt stars, Alnilam and Alnitak, and they are quite auspicious. They're markers for success. So the belt stars of Orion, the great hunter, he would put jewels when you had victories. So yeah, and the Orion Nebula, the star nursery, is working right there with your part of fortune. So you're really blessed in the 2nd house of Gemini. When I think about it, have you been a successful writer or communicator? What has come through you in this lifetime? All right. So this larger wheel shows you, again, all of the soul connections that you have that the calculator can now read to date. Okay. See if anything else wants to be said. Rising in Taurus, moon in Leo at the descendant. I'm sorry, at the nadir. Sun in Virgo. Look at this stellium. That means when planets or aspects are they're just all merging their energy. Oh boy, you got Pluto with the sun, with Uranus, and then Mercury. My gosh. So in the 5th house, that's a lot of Virgo energy that wants to be able to self-express, okay, deeply, analytically, suddenly, genius level, this whole throat chakra and wanting to speak. But you're here in this lifetime again. Look at this North Node, 18 degrees. It's that powerful 18. The 1 and the 8 equal a 9. So there's something quite auspicious with what you're here to do. So let's see, when I peek over here, we see Capulus and Almach. Capulus, you'll go back and hear what that star means in Perseus. And Almach, yeah, very close to your North Node. Beautiful. Okay, so you'll learn a little bit more. Almach being from the Andromedan star constellation. Beautiful. Liberation, freedom. Yeah, working collectively. Okay, there you go, Kat. I hope that helps you in this new year. think we're almost done. Jennifer. Okay, look at you. Again, not enough stars to get to 12. So here we go. Your ascendant is in Pisces, and you've got the star holding the 0 Aries point, Shiat, in Pegasus. On my YouTube channel, I do talk about this beautiful star, Shiat, as holding the age of Pegasus. It's right at your ascendant. Wonder how it showed up in your life so far. And right across at the descendant, you've got the supergalactic center working with your natal Saturn. We've got Alpheratz, Sirius A, Procyon, the galactic center, and Itamine. So you can look around this bigger circle to find any other stars that may call out so that you get a consortium of 12 for your support crew for 2025. One more, Annika. Okay, before my voice goes, Annika, okay, Cancer rising. Beautiful, led by the moon in Pisces. Water, water. The moon in Pisces in the 10th house, next or within conjunction to your Chiron, working with Achernar. Yeah, holding down the center as crises surround you. Boy, okay, you've got Procyon, Regulus, Acrux, Muroc, Almach, and the sun in Aries. Yep, the sun in Aries. Oh, look at this, 29 degrees, 29 minutes. So auspicious, isn't it? So it's the very final Aryan kind of, let's go do it, working with Muroc and working as a collective, the Andromedan star. Beautiful. Okay, so come over to this circle and you can find the others since you don't have a full 12. And I hope that lights and guides your path going forward, Annika. Well, when I started this marathon of little mini, let's look at your wheels, I wasn't intending on spending at least 2 full days on this, but it opens my heart and it helps me learn when I get to see charts. And so if I've said anything that you think is 1,000% not true, fine, discard it or put it aside, save it for later. These are just intuitive insights that come through. When we meet on the 29th, I won't have remembered your particular star chart. So we're just going to meet to make sure everyone's got 12, and we'll start putting our 12s together so that then we could create this 33-person constellation. Even if 33 don't show up, it's this intention of that higher octave from 11 to 22 to 23 as master numbers. The universe does talk to us in the language of numbers, numerology, sacred geometry, mathematics, aspects, sound, resonance. So hoping that this adds a little bit of intrigue on your life. And if you're interested in learning more about Julia Balaz and her courses, feel free to use my affiliate links in the description below. But if you choose not to, no worries. Your path is just as it is. I just know that 2025, it's going to be a year like none other. And when you need support, just having this drawing available to remind you who's there to help, awesome. And if you feel like doing a reading, check out the Quantum Soul Guidance Certified Practitioners. There's quite a handful, and there's variety and diversity, but there's also this commitment to help and to be of service. So thank you, everybody. I'll see you soon on the new moon, the wood snake coming up to celebrate the new lunar year. Bye for now.